Kiara, can you join us up front for the invocation, please?
Please prepare yourself for prayer in the manner to which you are accustomed. Great Scoutmaster, we stand before you tonight in awe of your glory and in gratitude for all your blessings. We thank you for bringing us together as a family of Scouts, gathered to celebrate the accomplishments of Dasha and attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. We ask your blessings on Dasha, her family, and the Scouts, leaders, friends, and guests who are assembled here today and joining us virtually. Use this ceremony to inspire vision and to encourage others to follow the Eagle path. Amen.
Would Raya and Liesl come forward for the trail to the Eagle?
Scout, do you remember when you took your first step upon the trail to become an Eagle? You began your journey on February 2nd, 2019, when you attended your first Merit Badge College. With that first step, you began to grow physically, mentally, and morally. Soon you had attained the Tenderfoot rank. The 3 points of the Tenderfoot badge stand for the 3 points of the Scout Oath: duty to God and to country, duty to other people, and duty to yourself. As a Tenderfoot Scout, you learned how to tie 2 half hitches and a taut line hitch, despite your own expectations. You also learned how to lead by example and take pride in the achievements of others as you took on the role of troop guide. With these new experiences and knowledge, you were ready to obtain the second class badge. Second class. The ends of the scroll on the second class badge are turned up in the willing smile of a Scout. On my face is the motto, be prepared, and suspended from me is the knot tied to remind you of the slogan of the Scouts BSA, do a good turn daily. You began to study more, you worked harder, and almost before you knew it, you topped the first summit on the Trail to Eagle when you received the first class badge.
First class. The first class badge is a reminder of your journey to it. On it, the badges of Tenderfoot and Second Class come together as you look ahead to the next summit. There, some were tempted by a green meadow next to a crystal clear stream bathed in the sun. Here, you didn't hesitate and continued on your journey, full steam. You could have remained there to live the first class glory, but your ambition stirred you on. Star. As a Star Scout, an endless horizon of opportunities was before you. This spurred you on, and again, you climbed farther. The trail was steeper and less worn. With the same determination with which you started your climb, you continued up the trail. Gaining the next summit was on your mind. Much leadership, service, and hard work had to be done. Soon, you earned the badge of Life Rank. As a Life Scout, you mastered the knowledge of subjects that would benefit your fellow Scouts. While the Life Scout is a much coveted position and deserves much credit, the Eagle Trail does not stop there. Its pathway narrows and steepens considerably as it winds its way along the narrow ledge. It becomes tougher and more trying. Many things have to be done in order to conquer these last miles. Your leadership and service to others were tested through your Eagle Service Project. You learned how to keep the scouting spirit alive when you became senior patrol leader of your troop. It was then that you realized that you were on your way to Eagle. Since the beginning of time, humans have used eagles as a symbol of royalty, power, victory, and valor. We watched your character unfold, leadership expand, and wisdom increase. You had to be fast-paced, but you managed to enjoy your journey along the way. You attended National Youth Leadership Training and discovered you were a leader. You attended World Scout Jamboree and made friends from around the world. As you earn the rank of Eagle, remember that your journey does not stop here.
Next, we will have a video from Isla, who's presenting Give Me a Scout.
Give me a scout that will be strong enough to know when they are weak, and brave enough to face themselves when they are afraid, who is proud and undaunted in honest defeat, but humble and gentle in victory. Give me a scout whose heart is clear and whose goals are high, who will learn to master themselves before they try to master others, who has learned to laugh but has not forgotten how to weep. A scout who will look to the future, yet never forget the past, who has enough sense of humor that they may always be serious. Give me a scout with humility, to learn that to know oneself is the foundation stone of all knowledge, who has not followed the paths of ease and comfort, but has solidly faced the trials of challenge, who has learned to stand up to the teeth of the storm and has learned that to accept passion for those who fail, who has knelt to give sympathy to those who cannot help themselves. Give me a scout who stands before their fellow man, that their scoutmaster dares to whisper, I have not lived in vain. And when you find this scout, they bear the mark of an eagle.
Good afternoon. I'm Scott Stackhouse. I'm the advisor for Venturing Crew 236 here, chartered through this church along with the other units. Venturing, for those that don't know, is a program, it's a co-ed program for youth from 14 to 20 years old. I met Dasha just prior to her 13th birthday. She was a regular attendee at Troop 236 camphouse. She always came with the family and got to know her. And at the time, BSA did not accept girls into their troops, so she was involved as a guest. She decided she wanted to get involved into the mentoring program, which starts at age 14. So she probably holds the record for our longest guest member, over a year. During that time, you couldn't tell she was a guest. She had the green shirt like the rest of us. She got involved in all the activities like the rest of us. Other than not being officially registered, she was as much a crew member as anyone else was. She also was the first official, unofficial member of our 2017 Jamboree contingent. She could not officially sign up until her 14th birthday when she joined Venturing, but we held a place for her on our contingent because she did not become an official member until 4 months prior to the Jamboree. She made several friends during that time. We were associated with councils from Dayton, Cincinnati, and Southern Indiana. We also had an international contingent of Poland that was part of our group. All of our older scouts, many of our scouts were 16, 17, 18 years old. Many of them went out of their way to make sure Dasha, as our youngest member, got the full experience of the Jamboree. One of the girls who Dasha is a close friend with now even wrote an essay as part of a contest and mentioned Dasha in that essay. It was very thought-provoking and talked about their relationship that they established during the Jamboree. Dasha continued to show her, how do I want to put it, going all in at Jamboree. I can remember one of the traditional events that many scouts do during the Jamboree is they go on this hike to a location called the Garden Grounds, and it's located on the ridge of a mountain at one end of the camp. And it's a 10-mile death march, as I called it. That didn't include the 5 miles it took us to get to the base of the mountain. But we started up this gentle incline. You didn't think it was going to be that bad. It was going to be about a 3-hour trip. And about 9.5 miles into it, we were all doing great. All of a sudden, there's a 45-degree incline in front of us. And what adult leaders do, I stay in the back of it. At least that's my story. Stay in the back and make sure nobody got lost behind me. And the next thing I know is I'm struggling to take a step, every step at a time. I look up and here's Dasha at the top of the ridge looking down on all of us. She had just gone up that mountain like a mountain goat. Didn't even break a sweat or was breathing heavy. So I was very, very impressed with her at such a young age and how she did that. As was said earlier, she went on to other great things in venturing. She got involved in Venture Fest in 2018. She got involved in the World Jamboree in 2019. I wanted to go visit with her because I was working medical staff in 2019. Never seemed to connect with her because she was always too busy out and enjoying the experiences. So I never really had the opportunity to connect with her. Dasha's always been someone who sets herself challenges and achieves them all the time. I can remember when BSA first announced the program involving girls in the troops, and Dasha approached me and told me she was going to be doing this. She said it sort of apologetically because now she would be dividing her time between 2 units, but I totally understood. And I could remember thinking at that point in time, we would be here today. Didn't know it was going to be this exact date, but I knew we would be here celebrating her Eagle Scout Award. And I also predicted in my own mind at the time that she would be one of the first Eagle Scouts here in the Miami Valley Council. I'm happy to say that I was correct about that. Because Dasha certainly set herself a goal and achieved it. So Dasha, what's next? Are you done? Nothing more to do? I don't think so. You don't think so either. You're going to continue to challenge yourself. You're continuing your involvement even now as an Eagle Scout with Troop 237, with the crew. You're working to complete your senior year in high school. And you're getting ready to go on to a challenging course of study in college. And I admire you for that. So while we're here celebrating your success as an Eagle Scout today, add this to your list of accomplishments and then move on to the next. Because I know this is just a stepping stone for everything you can do. I had the pleasure and honor of being part of Dasha's Board of Review for Eagle Scout. And I've had the opportunity to sit on dozens of Board of Reviews and work with dozens of Eagle Scouts over my scouting career. And I can honestly say it was one of the best boards I'd ever participated in. Dasha's responses to the board were confident, thoughtful, and no one but me knew the secret she told me before that, and that was how nervous she was to go into that board, because she appeared to be very confident. Dasha, only a select few have the honor of calling themselves Eagle Scouts, and you are most deserving of this honor. I congratulate you today and in your future endeavors.
Before I call the next person up, can I ask the Crockers to slide their chairs a little this way? I think that'll help the speakers stay close to the microphone and still be able to see Dasha and you all. Thank you. All right. Next up, I think Mr. Morrison has some words to say.
Okay. So thank you everyone for coming today for this special occasion. Eagle Scout Courts of Honor are something that we all hope to be invited to. But as an assistant scoutmaster and part of the founding of this first girls troop in our area, it's especially special for me to know the scout so well. I'm not sure what you're doing. Oh, the camera, gotcha. Okay, and to also have been there along the trail. My first impression of Dasha was several years ago. Like so many of the others in our troop, she was part of the sibling group for 236 when I first saw her. Then, of course, as Scott had suggested, part of the venturing crew, I saw her in the back of the room. But I really got to know Dasha and the rest of her family several years ago on a whitewater camping trip. I was there with my son Jake. Jake was actually quite nervous about the whole thing. And Dasha was right there and helping convince him and calm him. She was friendly and capable and not just a little fearless. She helped him through the uncertainty that he had and through the trip down the river. I've come to find throughout my engagement with Dasha that this is truly one of her, one of her strengths. She's always friendly and engaging. I remember her helping people, including me, at many of the campouts when we had downtime to learn the various games that the Scouts were playing. She's a very good teacher, and she's very helpful to everyone. Fast forward to 2019, and it's a matter of record that Dasha was one of the founding members. But I really think she was one of the one of the driving forces for the troop's creation. Scouts BSA was the chance for Dasha to take her long-lived love of scouting and be one of those people that really took it in a new and exciting direction, not just as a sibling, not just as a venturing scout, but as a leader among the new scouts. As we started the troop, Dasha was focused and driven. She didn't just participate, she jumped into leadership. I saw this as over time progressing as she not only demonstrated the things she had learned and knew already, but the things that she was learning on her trail to Eagle. I also had the privilege of working with Dasha on several merit badges. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, she's a very, very driven young lady. She has an extremely strong drive for learning and obtaining knowledge, and an even more amazing capacity to learn. And she demonstrated that in every step of the way. She was always quick to grasp and apply the concepts and information, irregardless of the badge or the rank or the task that was in front of her. I'll close out in just highlighting a few of the ways I saw Dasha living the Scout Law. The key traits I always noted were her kindness and her friendly and cheerful nature. This was especially apparent as she took her leadership duties with the troop quite seriously, whether it was Outdoor Ethics Guide, SPL, or Troop Guide. She was always engaging with new scouts, making them feel very welcome, which undoubtedly has contributed to the growth and health of our troops membership. Probably the most notable evidence of the special place in Dasha's heart, or for Dasha in the hearts of our scouts, comes from our Troop 237 summer camp in 2019. Dasha was not able to attend due to a conflict with the science fair competition, where she was competing for international honors. While the scouts all had their own activities, their own trials, and of course the fun, Dasha was never far from their thoughts. How she was doing at her competition, and the repeated phrases like, Dasha would have loved this, and too bad Dasha couldn't be here, were things I heard throughout the week. And it culminated in a really touching video that the girls all made to make sure that she knew just that. So Dasha, I have to say congratulations, and thank you for all that you've done for scouting and for our troop.
Next, I'll invite Crocker to come forward.
Hello. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Cayman, Dasha's brother, and this is something I've been looking forward to for a very long time. And I think when I look back on Dasha's scouting career, I think the thing that stands out to me the most is the fact that although it may be technically true to say that Dasha has only been a scout for 2 years, a little less than 2 years, in reality, she's been a scout for so much longer than that. I can't even remember when she started being a scout, because all the way back when I joined Cub Scouts, Dasha was there. She was coming along to all the activities. She participated whenever she could. She went to the Pinewood Derbies, and back then I knew that I wanted to earn my Eagle Scout someday, but I honestly never thought that Dasha would get to be here and to have this honor. Not because she didn't deserve it or that she didn't have the scouting spirit, but just because she wasn't allowed to join. And so the years went by, and I, graduated Cub Scouts. I moved into Troop 236. Dasha continued coming along to all the family campouts, and she hung out with the guys. She played Magic. She played games with us, and at that point, and she spent some time in the Girl Scouts as well, but it just wasn't what she was looking for. She wanted to have the scouting experience that I was having, but she couldn't join yet. And I remember her counting the days until she could become a Venture Scout. As Mr. Stackhouse mentioned, she was a guest member for a while. I remember her counting down the days till she turned 14, so she could join the Venture Scouts and be part of Crew 236. And a few more years went by. Dasha continued, embodying the scouting spirit and being a scout in all but name. And then around early 2017, there were some rumors floating around. And I remember I was at Ben Earhart's grad party, and Doc was there, and he was talking, and he mentioned how there was some discussion at National about allowing girls to join Boy Scouts for the first time. And the first thing I thought of was Dasha, because I knew that was perfect for her, and I knew that she, embodied the scouting spirit, and that if she was given the chance, she would make a great scout. And then when we went to the 2017 National Jamboree together, and when we got back from that, it became official that girls would be allowed to join starting in February 2019, and we got to talking, because we knew that when Dasha was given this opportunity, she would want to go for the rank of Eagle Scout. And I knew she deserved it. I knew she was capable, but it was going to be a difficult road, because she was going to join at around 16, and Scouts age out at 18, and the fastest it's even theoretically possible to earn your Eagle Scout is 19 months. So it's going to be a difficult journey, but I never doubted for a second that Dasha could do it, because she had the determination to make it all the way here to earn her Eagle rank. And I remember, because Dasha would need a scout troop to join, and there was no scout troop in the area, because the girls needed to be in their own troop. And I remember my mom and dad and a couple others putting together a new troop, and I remember them setting aside time and always making time for the troop, and making sure that Troop 237 was going to be just as great a troop as the boy troop, not just for Dasha, but for everyone else too. And here we are, and Dasha's earning her Eagle Scout. And even though way back when I joined Cub Scouts, I never thought Dasha would be able to be here, I've never been so glad to be wrong. Because Dasha is, in my mind, Dasha's been an Eagle Scout in all but name for years and years and years. And honestly, I can't think of anybody who deserves it more than you do, Dasha. So thanks for coming along on the scouting journey, and I'm really glad to be here.
At this point, I'd like to open up the floor to anyone else who'd like to say a word. William?
Good afternoon. My name is William Sangre. I'm the committee chair for this troop, and I have the honor for the second time to be standing in front of this group, either here or virtually. Thank you, Cayman, and all of your electronic gurus. By the way, I've been texting my son who's watching it on video. The video is coming out really well. I want to thank you all for coming here in person or virtually as we celebrate this young lady and her accomplishments. Like a lot of you in this room, I met her as she was a tag-along with Cayman and my son when they entered 236, and I've watched her grow, gotten to know her better. Everyone has been telling about what she has done. I kind of want to talk about what she's going to do. The legacy of what you're going to do is partly to be found in 237. When we started this troop, we had 2 or 3 older girls with some venturing experience and a whole bunch of new scouts. The older girls mentored this troop to the point that now, as they are eagling out, aging out, the troop is strong. That's your legacy. What you two have done to get 237 to where it is, that's a big part of your legacy. But also what you're going to do. I know that we talked about you were anxious to get started in scouting. You're anxious to get started in college as well. You're at this point, I think, you're a semester down in college because of the downside of the COVID is that you went to online schooling. The upside is you're taking classes at Wright State and already working towards your undergraduate degree. This does not surprise me in the least. It's that drive that you had that got you to Eagle, and it's going to continue to see you through as you progress down the road. I have no idea where you're going, but I know that whatever you do, you're going to do your best, and heaven help anyone who gets in your way. I would not want to be them, because your assurance of where you're going and your strength shows for it. Don't let anyone try to stop you anywhere. You're going to do whatever you want to do. Blessings to you and good luck. Thanks.
Anyone else? Please.
Dasha, since the beginning, you were like my first friend in scouting, and you've, just been a great friend with me just throughout the whole experience. Having someone my own age, someone who I can relate to, has really been the difference. Because, they're always my brothers, but, being able to relate to you in that special way has really made the difference. We've shared many experiences together and definitely made so many memories. Everything from being in the crew together, going to venturing fest. It was my first big camp out away from everyone in my family, but I wasn't worried because Dasha was there. And I knew I'd have a friend there, someone who I could, that sense of home I'd still have with me. You're the one who introduced us to Red River Gorge, and thank goodness for that. I'm so glad of all the things you've been able to teach me, and I've been able to learn from you. And when you started talking about you and your family were going to start this troop, I was so excited to join because I knew that you and we'd be able to work through it together. We'd be able to, start the troop off strong, use our leadership skills, and just because we'd be able to work together. There's no one else who I would have rather started this troop with, because I knew that you had the passion and the drive to do it. Just as everyone else has been saying, when you set your mind to something, you never stop, and I really look up to that in you. So that's when I was turning over my position of SPL to you. I had no worries at all. I knew you'd be able to handle it, and you did such an incredible job. And it's just been a joy to have gone along this Eagle Scout experience with you, just being able to do everything with you, and especially, that day of the board of review, being able to be with you and share in that moment. I'm very glad of all the experiences we've had together and all the experiences yet to come. Thank you.
I believe we have a video presentation.
Hello everyone, I'm Micaiah Thacker, and I first met Dasha at the 2017 National Jamboree. At Jambo, Dasha and I quickly became friends. We walked together and did many activities together throughout our 10 days at the summit. Some of my favorite memories with Dasha are simply from walking together around camp, talking about our lives, and especially how her dad was going to turn my dad bird crazy, which totally did happen. We have 7 bird feeders up now. I detailed one moment of Dasha and I walking together in my essay entry for the 2017 Out of Eden Walk competition. I would like to read that account for you. The dust blew into the hot air as the bus rolled by. We breathed it in. There was no escaping the cloud, and wished for rain, or better yet, a ride. The girl I was walking with had to repeat nearly everything she said because cerebral palsy affected her speech, but we didn't mind. I simply listened, and we simply had a conversation. Not many people listened to her, she told me with a smile. That smile was the most beautiful thing I'd seen all day. Dasha is truly a beautiful soul. She is confident, strong, empowering, and capable. She is funny, determined, and intelligent. I'm so proud of her accomplishments, and I could not be more grateful for the time that we have spent together over the last 4 years. Dasha, I'm sad that I couldn't be there today to celebrate you and your earning of Eagle. Just know that I'm so happy and proud of you, and I can't wait to see you soon. Congrats from me and my cat.
Dasha, I'd like to say a few words as well. I'm Louise Carter. I'm the committee member for the crew and the troop and Liesel's mom. And I think lots of people have talked about your determination and your drive, and that's all been amazing. But the thing I'd like to do really is just to thank you. I want to thank you for your friendship with Liesel. I think she probably would have gone for Eagle on her own, but it was so much more enjoyable having the two of you work that together and prod each other on, and probably a little bit of challenging each other here and there and learning from each other. And that has just made it such a wonderful experience for Liesel, for me, and our whole family. And so I just want to thank you and congratulate you. Thanks. Any others?
Good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations, Dasha. I'd like to say that, this is just a perfect example of why, in my opinion, it was so exciting to have women become Boy Scouts or Scouts BSA. That we're able to meet these people, these women, up close and personal, and to find out what is all about their lives, and to see them grow and develop and just demonstrate the abilities that they have and what they can bring to the world and to scouting. And so I am just so proud of you, Dasha, for all that you've accomplished. And people have talked about your personal skills, and those are certainly by and far, but on a global basis to both the council and to the nation. I'm just so excited about what scouting is growing into with the admission of women into the program. So thank you very much.
Any others? All right. Before we present the Eagle Award upon you, Dasha, I'd ask you and your parents to come forward. All right. The time has finally come to have the honor of pinning your eagle on your uniform rightfully falls to the persons most responsible for you being here, your parents. Dasha Crocker, we are finally at the point you have been waiting for. It is now time to formally present you this high badge of accomplishment. It is my privilege and honor and pleasure to pronounce you an Eagle Scout. Your mother has undoubtedly been your greatest source of inspiration in your quest for the Eagle Award. As she pins the award on your left pocket. As a symbol of what Dasha's mother has made possible, the court will now ask this eagle to present her mother this Eagle Mother's Pin. And also, someone who's led her way to Eagle as well is her father. Congratulations, Dasha. All right. May I congratulate you again and remind you that scouting should now become an even greater tie between the daughter and parents, binding you even more closely as a family. To you, Eagle Scout Dasha Crocker, I express confidence that you will honor scouting with your life and service as today scouting honors you. Now Dasha will present her mentor pins. Start with this one.
The first mentor thing I'd like to give out is to my dad. You helped start 237, and you were also the person who helped me through the first 4 weeks of the Eagle Final. Wonderful. I'd like to present you with a megaphone because you've not only been a great friend for me, but you've also helped me learn a few laws and allowed me to complete this journey. I clearly couldn't have done it without you. And Mr. Scott, I'd like to present you one smile. So you were the one who let me into the crew as a young 13-year-old. You encouraged me to join BSA Scouts, even though I never needed much encouragement. You were also there when I was nervous to take on the role of senior patrolman and reassured me that I had the skills necessary to do it.
Okay, next I'd like, actually Dasha, you're gonna kind of have to come on back up here. Cayman, I call you forward to do the Eagle Charge.
The Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most meaningful and significant movements in the world's history. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to country, to your fellow Scouts, and to mankind in general. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your fellow Scouts. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with solemn dedication, be a leader, but only lead towards the best, lift up every task you do, and every office that you hold to the highest level of service to God and your fellow man. So live and serve that those who know you will be inspired to finer living. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and ability to the common good. I will now ask all the Eagles to make the Scout sign and repeat after me. I realize my obligation to my fellow men, my home, my country, and my God. I will at all times do my best to assist others, to live with honor, loyalty, courage, and service, and to be a living example of the Scout Oath and law to the best of my ability. 2. Your conduct along the trail has been excellent, but one more thing is important: your future. As an Eagle Scout, you become a guide to other Scouts. You become an example in your community. Remember that your actions now are a little more conspicuous, and people will expect more of you. To falter in your responsibility would reflect not only on you, but on your fellow Eagles and all of Scouting. The torch you carry is not only yours, but is also ours. Thank you.
Next, I invite Dasha's parents to come forward.
So I usually do most of my parent contribution here in video format, so that's forthcoming, but I did have a few other things to bring up beforehand. First of all, I'll be honest, Dasha and I had some disagreements as to whether or not we should hold this in light of COVID. But I need you to understand, Dasha, that I trust your judgment. And it's because of that we're all here today. And the amount of research and diligence that she put into this is unbelievable in an effort to make me more comfortable. So thank you. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is 6 years ago when Cayman got his Eagle, I neglectfully did not mention Dasha and Raya's contribution to his Eagle project. They actually did a lot of fundraising, and I neglected to mention that, so here I am. Thank you for helping with his too. Third thing is that Dasha has a lot of challenges, and most of you know, but between cerebral palsy and a brain tumor being removed, she has a lot of challenges, but in all honesty, I wouldn't have her any other way, because that is what makes her so amazing. And what she's been able to accomplish, I don't know that we would have known how amazing she is if she hadn't had those challenges put in front of her. The last thing I wanted to say before the video was, I remember starting this troop, and when I went to Ron Klink of the church and I was trying to figure out what room to get for Tuesday nights, I told him, it's probably only going to be our 2 girls and Liesel. We don't need a big room. It's grown beyond what we expected, and I couldn't be happier. We are up to 19 girls, I think, now, and they're amazing girls. This has kind of become where we're seeing our family's future heading, is to really to mentor this troop. It's kind of getting us through this whole COVID debacle, to be honest. With that, let me go ahead and have Cayman start up the video. This is a video I put together that kind of takes through Dasha's scouting career. And yes, there are embarrassing kid photos, so it's all good.
When the cold wind is a-calling and the sky is clear and bright, misty mountains sing and beckon, lead me out into the light. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. Where dark woods hide secrets and mountains are fierce and bold, deep waters hold reflections of times lost long ago. I will hear their every story, take hold of my own dream, be as strong as the seas are stormy and proud as an eagle's scream. I will ride, I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. I will fly, chase the wind and touch the sky. And touch the sky. Chase the wind, chase the wind, touch the
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. Move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. Oh, we'll rise. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. Isn't this great, Dasha? In the minutes before Dasha was born, her OB told me, this daughter is going to change your life. In the weeks and months after she was born, we slowly began to realize how much this would turn out to be true. Now, in the years after she was born, I am more convinced than ever. As she grew, it became clear that she would face some extra challenges. Speech, walking, and motor skills were all delayed for Dasha, but she met these obstacles with persistence. As she has always told me, it's just the way I am, so I just do what I need to do. She learned sign language to communicate until her speech muscles learned to cooperate better. She butt scooted for mobility until her legs found ways to be strong enough to walk. And she developed alternate and surprising ways to do things with her hands. Now, she types novellas on her laptop using only her index finger of her left hand. Her steely determination to overcome barriers has always been evident to us and others, but to her, it's not novel or inspiring, it's just her way of existing. When a new school year would start for her, and whenever she would meet new teachers or kids, she would tell them, I'm Dasha, and I'm a little hard to understand, but if you have trouble, I'll be happy to slow down a little for you and repeat myself if you need me to. But you see what she does there? For Dasha, not being understood isn't a failing in her, that's for everyone else to learn to live with. And she's willing to be patient and help someone who struggles to understand her. I think scouting has always been very natural for Dasha. As we've said, she's been part of scouting vicariously through her brother Cayman most of her life and is a scout in her own right since joining the Venturi crew at 14. I remember a time when the Crockers were all on a Webelos scout camp out and Dasha was 6. There was a Webelos requirement to go on a 5-mile hike, and I would be leading a group of Webelos, some of whom who had never gone on such a long hike before. The other parent accompanying us, who did not know Dasha very well, privately questioned to me whether she might become a hindrance to the group, all of whom were several years older than her. I said, just wait and see. Soon, while many of the boys had begun lagging behind, she was leading the group, traipsing up and down hills with practiced ease and leaping across creeks. Not exhibiting any personal limitations, she was reveling in the outdoors, smiling her big smile, and as always, showing the rest of us what she's capable of. A few years later, during a campout with Troop 236, Dasha had an opportunity to try a high ropes course. The first few obstacles were relatively easy for her, but they progressed in difficulty. In order to complete each course, you have to zip line from a platform high in the trees to the ground. But Dasha had never zip lined before, but she did it without hesitation and completed the first green course. The second course really put her to the test. One of the most challenging obstacles for her was navigating swinging wooden platforms while hanging onto an overhead rope. Her concentration and muscle strain were evident as we cheered her on. Her deep desire to stretch her abilities and accomplish this challenge fueled her perseverance, so that she was eventually satisfied with her performance. During her scouting career, Dasha has attended 2 scout jamborees, a venturing fest at the summit, where she got to do the big zip, which I haven't yet been able to do. She's done recruitment events in NYLT. At the 2017 National Jamboree, it was very important to her to conquer the iceberg climbing obstacle on the water reality course in the lake. But she couldn't manage to get herself out of the water onto the iceberg to start her climb before the time limit expired, and she was devastated not to be given the chance. An amazing scouter and his adult son, who was experiencing some newly acquired disabilities himself, were staffing the course and saw that Dasha was upset. They shared with us that their own personal journey resonated with Dasha's, and because of that, they wanted to help her accomplish this. So they got into the water with us and helped Dasha up onto the iceberg, and she did get to conquer it. She wouldn't have been satisfied with herself otherwise. Scouting has allowed us to meet some amazing people with similar stories and journeys. As a founding member, troop guide, and senior patrol leader of Troop 237, she has helped younger scouts launch their scouting careers and has mentored and led them as they climb their own scouting ladders. Dasha always makes herself available to help other scouts with rank advancement, and she feels genuine personal pride when she helps one of them achieve a new rank. She's planned successful campouts, exemplified the Scout Oath and Law, and has shown us all definitively that she has earned this honor, the rank of Eagle Scout. A wise man once said, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." Dasha, scouting has given you all these experiences and memories, and I hope you will always count them as part of your good old days and never lose track of them. I hope scouting will always be part of your life and that you will give back to scouting in your adult life. Here's the remarkable thing about Dasha. Those who don't know her yet well sometimes see her as someone who has a maze of obstacles to overcome or a set of disabilities which may keep her from doing something or performing at a certain level. But that's not how it is for Dasha. For her, doing something isn't fighting a battle, it's simply doing what it takes to master it. She's not overcoming anything, she's just accomplishing it. In her heart and mind, she doesn't have a disability, she just is who she is, which is someone who, like all of us, tries, sometimes fails, eventually achieves. Another thing to know about Dasha is that when she does something exemplary or mundane, she isn't competing with others for accomplishments, which it could be said can only get a person so far. She is competing with herself. Every challenge overcome and every goal reached are ones she has set for herself with no one but herself to satisfy. She doesn't have anything to prove to you. She's only complete if she proves it to herself. Which I know, even if she is humble and won't admit it, arises from a well deep in her strength that I realize I don't share, but I've come to aspire to. It has served her well so far, and will continue to serve her as her challenges increase. When I was told all those years ago that Dasha would change my life, no one really knew just how accurate that would turn out to be. I wanted to teach my daughter inner strength. Instead, she has taught it to me.
All right, Dasha, it's your turn.
So, as several people have mentioned so far, I went to the 2017 National Jamboree, and at that event, for the first time, I heard the rumor that they might let go in the scouting. Now, even though I was like excited that they were doing this, I didn't really think much of it because I didn't realize that I'd ever get to be a scout. I mean, I was convinced that I would climb the vegetarian trail and nothing else. But a few weeks after I returned home from that event, it was confirmed that in 2019 they would allow go to join Scouts. And I was so excited to have the opportunity myself. And it didn't take me long to realize that I'd be able to earn Eagle. Unlike most scouts, however, the leadership aspect was probably the most intimidating part. I knew that my greatest challenge would be getting the first class, because to get there, you have to do like basic scouting things, like tie knot or swim 75 feet. And I didn't know I could have done any of that, but I proved myself wrong. After I did first class, things became a bit easier though. I honed my leadership skills and passed my experience to other scouts. I became to 37 senior battalion and felt prepared for the challenges I thought I'd face. It was my second meeting, however, when everything shut down. I quickly realized that nobody knew the best way to keep your troop and the spirit of scouting alive. I can no longer rely on legal meeting outlines or the prospect of having fun events to keep me by engaged. But I did my best to rise to the challenge and try to make video meetings at least not awful. For most now, the Eagle Project is the hardest part of undoing, but for me it was just another challenge. I have a skill to complete it, but I couldn't have done any of it without you guys. For volunteering your time to assemble my project, to giving me valuable advice. You guys were all integral in making sure I got my Eagle rank. Thank you all for this opportunity.
Now invite Kiera up for the benediction.
Please prepare yourself for prayer in the manner to which you are accustomed. Great Scoutmaster, we thank you for the opportunity to come together for this special day in Dasha's life. We thank you for everyone who helped support and guide Dasha on her trail to Eagle. Take care of them during these challenging times. Please help Dasha to live up to the honor, responsibility, and expectations that this Eagle Award represents. As we leave this celebration, We ask you to strengthen Dasha and all of us for the challenge we face to live lives filled with character, persistence, courage, loyalty, cheerfulness, service, and setting an example for others. Amen.
All right, after this, there will be some light refreshments over to the side here. You will be dismissed in small groups at a time, so please wait to be dismissed. Let's please stand to retire the colors. Scout attention, color guard advance. Color guard prepared to retire the colors. Scout right hand salute. Retire the colors. Color guard retreat. Two, color guard dismissed. Everyone at ease.